Hi, it's Leah Briick, Executive Director for SASH, and I'm here today with Sue Neufeld Ellis, who is presenting at our virtual conference here in a few weeks. Sue, welcome. So glad to see you today.
Thanks, Leah. It's really nice to be with you.
So you're going to be presenting Mindful Self-Compassion for the clinician and the client. That is on Thursday, October 15th at 2 o'clock Central. So make sure to set your clocks for Central Time. Sue, tell us more about your presentation and what the inspiration was behind it.
Well, mindful self-compassion is potentially such a great thing to add to anybody's, let's say, therapy recovery toolbox, or just people in general. But I focus more on therapists and clinicians and clients. And so I have been a meditator for 40 years and a meditation teacher for 25. And it was great. I was able to graduate and from the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion at USC San Diego. And I was also studied it at excuse me, the University of Washington. And the reason for doing that potentially was to be able to bring mindfulness meditation into mainstream and into the psychological community for therapists to be able to share with their clients, because it can just be like you drop a pebble in the water and the waves go out. And so I just found it was really, really a helpful tool. I've been dealing with problematic sexual behavior in partners and couples since 1987. And we are a young discipline, I believe, in the sexuality and the problematic area. And so I am always looking for tools and therapies that can assist people in their healing and really create healthy sexuality and healthy relationships. And mindful self-compassion does that for the person, the client, and it reverberates out to families and the community.
My guess is that when you got your degree, that meditation and self-compassion was mindfulness was a pretty new tool at that time. And of course, now we're so much more aware of it and it's practiced more regularly. And I appreciate that you're bringing that into your practice with your problematic sexual behavior clients and their families or partners. Why do you think mindfulness and especially self-compassion meditation are important to sexual health?
Well, the research is pretty significant. Uh, Mindful self-compassion helps people with body shame and perfectionism. That's what the research shows. And the research also shows that people become kinder to themselves, and that develops into more empathy for other people, and particularly family members. The research has shown that they studied partners of people that not just with problematic sexual behavior, just in general, and that the relationships became better as reported by the partners. So it helps with anxiety. It reduces anxiety symptoms, depression. It reduces relapses. The research also shows that it helps with diets and quitting smoking and safe sex. So all the research has shown that it really has, there's some significant things they're beginning to find now. A lot of people are doing research on it, much more than before.
I would bet that you could there's some interplay in there with people who are having issues around erectile dysfunction,
Mm-hmm.
that it would be helpful for them. And you talked about body shame, and
Mm-hmm.
especially for a betrayed partner who is
Mm-hmm.
going into either a new relationship or renewing that relationship, that they maybe do some mindfulness together to re-energize that relationship and bring some trust into it. And you're opening yourself back up to someone, and meditation is a good way to center and to get back into body. And so I can see that where that would be really, really important for that relationship.
Yes, there's lots of people Not just people that have, sexual problems, but lots of people, they aren't even aware of their body. They're just going, doing, running, maybe not so much with COVID, but in a different way, maybe on the computer more. But anyway, they don't know what they feel. Like
Mhm.
when I have people check into their body, I say, what sensations are you feeling? Are you having any feelings? And it's like a new thing, and they didn't really know that they could access that. And it is very grounding, and I often teach grounding exercises along with it as well.
Sure, sure. That
Yeah.
really important to be grounded. What do you hope people will take away?
Well, I'm hoping for the clinician that they will, because it's a pretty experiential workshop. We'll go through some of the history and the research,
Mhm.
and that will be available to them. There's a lot of it, so I just picked some things. And then that they will begin to practice mindful self-compassion themselves. Clinicians are famous, or healthcare people in general,
Yeah,
are famous for not, doing self-care. And so this is
right.
the way they can do self-care, and we'll provide that for them. And then also, when they work with their clients, they will be able to answer questions because they're doing their own mindful self-compassion practice as well. And then they can
Sure.
share that with the clients. And it's a wonderful ripple effect that goes out.
Sure, absolutely. So here we are online this year for our first ever virtual conference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you've certainly been around for a long time and a part of SASH, and we're very grateful to have you as a member and just your expertise. It is wonderful to spend time with you. What excites you most about this year's conference?
Well, I am so excited about the variety of topics. They're so timely. The topics are, and they're so chocked full of good information, and the presenters are amazing. I looked at their bios, and I mean, they're very experienced and top notch. So I'm going to be taking a lot from the conference, and I know other people will too.
I think this is probably one of the most diverse conference lineups that I've seen for a while. And I'm really excited to have some of our partners with ASECT and ATSA
Mm-hmm,
coming to join us this year.
mm-hmm.
And I really am appreciative of just everyone like you that commits their time to SASH and is so devoted to training our professionals and making sure that we are staying current in our information and in our training. There's so much value in being in person, and we get that personal connection. And this year being virtual, it has its challenges, obviously. What are some of the benefits that you've found through the virtual setting?
Well, it's interesting. I'm so well versed in Zoom. That's what I use a professional Zoom and the HIPAA compliant one, but I've just, I know how to navigate it now. It's so great. So I know how to do that. And I have found with my clients that Zoom has been fine, that if they choose to stay at home, that it seems, people still cry, they still have their feelings. Yeah, so I think it's been really interesting. I thought it'd be more of a challenge than it is. And I know for some people it is, because I do have some people, usually the older ones, that want to come in and see me in person. And so I practice all the COVID precautions
Mhm.
when they come in and when they leave. And so I'm feeling really good about that. We do the whole social distancing thing and all of that. So I see a lot of people in person, but then especially my younger clients, my clients in their 20s, they're just so, Zoom for them is like second nature. It's
Right.
so it really hasn't been that much of a challenge for me.
I think we do have some of the millennials to thank for our current situations and really helping us to adapt. I have a 13-year-old son, and I know that he has helped me in some regard to navigate some of those technological challenges as an older person trying to stay current and relevant. I have found a lot of benefit with having Zoom and just video conferencing, because where in the past I would just pick up the phone, now I'm actually able to see someone. So it's like I'm sitting in your living room, right? We're
Right.
together, even though we're thousands of miles apart. So I think there's a lot of benefit to what we're getting out of it, as well as learning how to navigate some of the challenges.
That's true. You know, I have been in some international conferences and calls, and I have met so many wonderful people from around the world. And I really believe I would not have met them if it wasn't for our Zoom conferencings. And so I've met so many wonderful people. And the other thing is, one perk is we don't have to pay for hotel
Right.
or air flight like normally we do if we fly, which
Right.
I love to fly and go places, but I mean, I mean, it's just one thing that we've
Sure.
adjusted to, let's put it
Sure.
that way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's certainly helping our environment. There is no doubt about
Yep,
that.
yep.
You know, one of the challenges I have, because I'm on Zoom so much, and like today is a great day where I'm in back-to-back meetings all day,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that's true for you with your clients, seeing that I have to work really hard to find a way to stay balanced and to get some peace and not get zoomed out, as some people have been calling it, but
Hmm.
really get some balance so that I'm getting out of this chair. What are you doing to bring balance to yourself?
Well, the mindful self-compassion is one thing. Also, I have some breathing techniques I can share with people at the conference.
Mm.
That's another really, really helpful. And my clients have found it so helpful, and it's quick and easy. And I also will be sharing in my presentation what's come out of meditation that's new, as you talked about, is what we call informal meditation instead of formal. And we talk about formal when people sit down for 20 or 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is, whatever their time frame is, but more of the longer mindful meditations. Well, now with informal meditation, you can do it when you're shopping. I have one client that does the practice as he walks to the bus to work and he walks home from work. So I will be sharing some practices that people can also use in their daily life and take what we call a compassion break during
Those
the
are,
day.
yeah, sure. Those are a little bit easier to build in, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
I wear an Apple Watch, and my watch reminds me when I need to take a breath, to do a 1 minute breathing. And so those are really great little simple things that you can
Mm-hmm.
build into your life that take very little time,
Mm-hmm.
but have great benefit.
Right.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for being with us on Conversations for the Couch. So glad to have you with us, and really grateful for you being with us at the conference this year. Just as a reminder, Mindful Self-Compassion for the clinician and the client. That'll be on Thursday, October 15th at 2 p.m. Central. So be sure and join Sue for that, and we look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Yeah, I'd love to see all of you and we can all meditate together. It'll be great. It'll be
Yes.
great.
All right.
Thank you
Take
for
care.
having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.